I prize the 2 years that I spent in Yemen. I was sent to a remote village called Uzla, which sits in the area known as Badan. I was the only American for miles, and this was a pilot project, so there had been no American that had ever been in this area before. And so everybody was always curious, what was this American doing in the middle of nowhere in Yemen? Because most Yemenis left Yemen to go to America or go to work in the oil fields in Yemen. What would an American be doing there? And I know that some of the Yemenis believed I was a spy. The second year that I lived in my village, I moved closer into the city, and I lived right next to the mosque. And I was told after about 2 days that I was there that the imam and others who run the mosque, they took the loudspeaker from the mosque that says the call to prayer, and they pointed it right straight at my house. And the funny thing about that is the first call to prayer is about 6 in the morning. And so it was like my alarm clock. Every morning you would have the call to prayer that would jolt you out of bed. Now after a while you get kind of used to it at 6 in the morning. But I have to say it's quite a shock coming from where I do. So that was an interesting experience.
More clothes than I had in Yemen when I was in Yemen. Old antique medical books. I think the oldest one goes to the 17th century. This is my collection of antique surgical instruments that date to the Civil War. Yeah, I have a whole bunch. Dr. Palmer, who was a Southern, he had this collection and he gave them to me. And some very, very interesting. This, for example, is a fascinating, this was for bloodletting, which of course they used in the old days in the United States. Of course, in some places in Yemen, they still use it. This instrument was to make what we call burrow holes in the head to remove blood clots. And mean instrument, but so you go like this. Of course, right now they have much more sophisticated equipment. My hobby is photography, yes. Alone, he's confused, he walks. I think just to see something beautiful and to arrest that moment, which never comes back sometimes. I think that's very exciting. Tries to run from the world and run from the dark. Run from the dark. Run from the dark. The joy of photography is when you take the picture and when you share it with somebody else. His frightened fingers drown the shout.
California or something.
What's your problem? Holy smoke.
It's freezing outside. I was just a secretary at that time. We didn't have titles. And if Dr. Abdu had an idea or needed some ideas, or he'd call me in the office and, what do you think about this? And how would you present this? And he accepted and wanted my opinion. But I was more than a secretary in his eyes. Yes, my washer broke. And so the next day I had a card on my desk and it says, Confucius say, secretary with broken washer has dirty clothes. And gave me this certificate to go buy a new washer. We had a good 22 years together. Very, very, very good.
When we go into the Mayan communities, the Mayan indigenous culture, Dr. Abdu, we will take a massage table, and underneath the trees, the Mayan Indians would wait for hours to see Dr. Abdu.
And of course, because of my profession as a surgeon, I also help take care of patients, including surgery. And under primitive conditions, sometimes taking our equipment from here. I had clinics under a tree. It was exciting. It was very exciting, and they are the most grateful people you've ever seen.
And with that compassion and in the heat of 110 degrees, he would examine these individuals just like they were at home. He would take that care and that time and that compassion, not just put them on the table and throw them off. One man needed a surgery, a hernia surgery. And he said to this Mayan Indian, he said, "Sir, if you don't have surgery, you're going to die." And the individual looked back to him, and it was interpreted from Mayan to Spanish to English. "If I have to die, I have to die because I have no money." Within a few weeks, Dr. Abdu came back and did surgery on the man, and he is now alive.
And I liked her work is because there is no headquarters, no secretaries, no corporation, no offices. If she gets $1, that dollar goes to do something, to buy little shoes for children. Children is her passion, and that's one of the things I even like more about her. She absolutely loves little children. And why I like to help children, I think I can relate to them because of my background. I can relate to their suffering, to their hunger, to their misery, because maybe I went through that also. I experienced it when I was their age.
He is very empathetic. He knows how to make a person feel very important. Just the way he talks about Yemen and some of the memories he has, and I think that's added to his sensitivity, what he has seen there and experienced, and what some of the people there have to endure. Just his feelings of wanting to give. He is one of the most caring physicians I've ever worked with.
Thank you, Charlene. When I run for a Senate, I'm going to have her to be my campaign manager.